all you recovering emo kids. Amanda and Rob here with the Emo Kids Anonymous podcast. And on today's episode, we are joined by Duncan from the band Relate out of Denver, Colorado. Rob, what do you think of Relate so far? It was a great conversation.
Duncan is dope. Duncan is a great time. This is one of the most requested bands in the history of Emo Kids Anonymous. A lot of people have been telling us, you got to get on Relate, you got to get on Relate. So this is our chance to tell you to get on to Relate before they become the next big band, because between the drive of the bands, their ability to connect with their fans, and just overall making great music, this is a band that will be popping the fuck off. I think this is a band you could be seeing on not just a Warped Tour side stage, but a Warped Tour main stage in the next 5 years or so.
I think so as well. Yeah.
And I think before we get into this interview, you guys should go smash the like button. Subscribe to the show. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Go to neverphasenetwork.com. Go get yourself an Emo Kids Anonymous blouse. And while you're at Never Phase Network, go check out our other friends, our other creators, our other shows and the like on here. We have Stereotherapy. We're soon to have another show joining our little network of shows too. That might be out by now. I don't know. You might be picking it up a little with the two tones, okay? We'll see, okay? Either way, great interview here. Enjoy. What are your thoughts on Third Eye Blind self-titled debut album?
Is the self-titled the one with like Graduate and Semi-Char? Yeah, dude, like it's badass. I mean, Losing a Whole Year is like one of the best songs ever written.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's big. Right? Our Mount Rushmore. What's your hyperfixation? That's kind of been our hyperfixation lately.
Oh, it's your Roman Empire.
That's the word. Thank you.
Third Eye Blind is usually my Roman Empire. And I watched. Have you ever seen the movie High Fidelity?
I mean, I've seen part of it, but it's been years.
Yeah. I just watched it for the first time, and first off, the main guy, John Cusack, in that movie, he plays a bit of a loser. But like, if I took away like the loser incel part of it, it's like this guy's name is Robb. He owns a record store. He's just ranking everything. I'm like, fuck, this is really relatable. Shit.
I mean, he seems kind of like how like Anthony Fantano might have been in the 90s, but not quite as cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're totally right.
You can't put that part on the internet though, man. Like I hear he'll call people out.
No, actually, we're rocket strapping people. We had a guy on recently, Chris Casey, and then like 5 days later, Fantano was shouting him out. So watch out. When this comes out, you're going to end up on the needle drop a week later, bro. Sorry.
Hey man, I'm a Fantano fan, man. Okay.
Good with that preface. Yeah. I just feel like as long as you're not Ronnie Radke, you should be pretty much okay at this point in terms of...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with it.
You're not Ronnie Radke, right? Different guy.
I mean, I know I look a lot like him, but it's a common thing that gets confused.
Understood. Oh man. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Duncan, hello. It is nice to meet you. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah.
You were one of the most requested bands across the board, to the point I couldn't even remember who told me about you guys, because multiple people have been like, do you know this band Relate? You should get Relate. So y'all got shooters out there.
That's tight, dude. That means like a ton. Like that like makes me like blush. Like I'm like, damn, that's cool.
Right. So for the people listening that aren't the five people that bothered me incessantly, I guess. Sorry, man, I'm stealing your normal question. Tell the internet and the people listening, who the hell is Relate? Who are you?
Well, my name's Duncan. I sing in a band from Denver, Colorado called Relate. We're like a band. You know, like we all play music. We got like guitars and drums and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because we're from Denver. There's not really a ton of bands from around here that play like out of state, and we have been hitting the road like a lot, and so it's definitely kind of a unique experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. In relation to Denver, so what are some of your favorite like bands that are from the area that might have influenced you? Is it 303? No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's 303 in the Fray, like hands down.
Forgot about the Fray. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the Fray was from Denver. But
No, I love the Fray.
I love 303.
No, I love 303. Dude, like, I got to meet them like a month or two ago, and like I was told, like, what I remember is that like we were just like talking for a couple minutes, but like what I was told is that like I was kind of standing there, my legs were shaking, and I might have said like, "You're my biggest inspiration."
And now we have it on record. This is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, dude, I don't get like since I was a kid, I've never really been like starstruck, right? But I think there's like that select few people that like I'm like, yo, and I mean like I'm from Colorado, man. Like we stand 303. Like those are some of my first shows going to growing up, and like I was just like, whoa, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that is fantastic. But like, what about are there any other bands besides those two quite infamous bands that you might truly enjoy that might have helped influence you, or just like in general?
I mean, from Colorado, like, well, I grew up in Colorado Springs, so the music scene down there was so cool and still is so cool. When I was a kid, there's this band called Autumn Creatures, and it's like an instrumental kind of like, what's it, like post rock kind of, but like really, really good. And they have like spoken word over like the intros to their songs that like if you listen to their whole like EP or their whole like LP, like it tells like a story. And that was hugely influential to me. I think I was 18 when I think their first EP is called Seasons, and a friend of mine was the engineer that did it. He's actually the guy that does all of the mastering for Relate. But like that was huge. That band was so cool. And like a lot of people haven't heard of the Flux Capacitor, which was like this legendary DIY venue that was in Colorado Springs, and there was just always so many cool bands coming through there when it was around. So like, and that was like the place for everyone to play. It was in the bottom of this warehouse that had like 50 practice spaces in it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I guess like not any like huge bands, because like bands don't usually come out of this part of the country because it's so hard to tour. So I can't even like think of any bands from Colorado other than the Fray and 303. But well, maybe like Tickle Me Pink is from Fort Collins. And like there's this cool band called Single File. The Photo Atlas is from Denver, but like there's not a ton of people from here in this genre of music, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
I have a question about a certain Colorado band that I enjoy, and I'm wondering if you have any connection or relation. Are you familiar with Summer Stars?
Dude, I'm in Summer Stars.
I thought so. I fucking thought so.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm at
bro. I'm watching the video, and it's just like this is the same guy. I'm positive. I didn't think to Google it and actually look. I'm just like, I'll talk to, but I'm like, I'm positive this is the same fucking guy.
No, yeah, like I'm at the studio right now, and like literally like a minute before I hopped on here, like I've been tracking new Summer Stars all day. So like Matt and I were in here doing vocals, and so like I was like pushing through the screams, like the last the last little parts of the song, and I'm like, all right, we got to roll it, man, got to roll it. I gotta bounce. That's too funny, man. Like Matt literally just left. Matt's our singer.
Yeah, seriously, it's been like all week. That's been my thought. I was like, I gotta ask about Summer Stars. I'm pretty sure it's gotta be the same guy.
Yeah, man, I produced Summer Stars. I'm the producer, and I play bass.
Awesome. Dang. You're busy, Duncan.
Yeah, like kind of. I've gotten less busy, all right. Like I'm starting to whittle down things, right? Like all I really want to do is go on tour and record bands. So like I'm doing so much more of both of those this year, and that's tight.
So besides you, it's also Tom and Diego, correct? Tom's on guitar, Diego's on drums. And talk a little bit about what the process is for Relate as far as like songwriting. And I know that Diego wrote most of Sludge, one of your songs, Sludge. But talk a little bit about how that dynamic worked with the band, since you are a producer as well. So
it was really interesting, right? Because like Relate started as it was like my acoustic side project, and so like I was just writing songs, and then all the songs that didn't fit together, I was like, oh, like those will be for Relate. And like I called it Relate instead of like being like, oh, like this is Duncan, because like that sounds lame on a bill like with hardcore bands and like pop punk bands. And like people were more likely to book me if I just told them that my project Relate was playing, and then I'd like kind of show up with just my guitar and they'd be like, yo, what? But I wrote like the first EP that we have, Chemical Condition. I mean, I wrote that like sitting in my bedroom. And so like when we started the band, it was kind of like, okay, here's all the songs. And I've been doing bands for like a while, like my whole life. And that's usually like in new bands, the hardest parts are like naming it and writing songs. So I was like, okay, like for this release, the songs are already written and everyone wrote their parts, right? Like, cause I can't play drums and like, I'm not very good at guitar. So, you know, like Zach and Tom, like took the chord structures and made riffs and leads, and then Diego made killer drum parts, and then we self-recorded that first EP. So like Diego knew how to record and like mix and stuff, but like I didn't really. And like we kind of got like far enough into the process where like Diego had finished all the instruments, and it took us like 6 months. And so like I remember like getting all the files to like do my part, and I was like, wow, shit, like I gotta learn how to track vocals. So I spent like a month doing that, and then we started writing new material, and that was when we wrote Linger. That was like the first song that we all wrote together. And at the time, like I was still playing bass in the band, and so like the four of us wrote Linger in like one practice. It was like one of those, you know, things where you're channeling like some energy, like it just kind of like happens.
Yeah, you're just catching it.
Yeah, and then Diego had written Sludge, and since he had sent that like a pretty well produced demo, like I'm usually really good at writing like vocals if there's a vibe, you know, like it's harder if it's just like, you know, like some electric guitar and like a 4/4 drum beat. But you know, Diego had kind of like gone all out, and I'm like, yeah, man, this is vibes. So like that was one that I mean, he basically wrote it, and again, same thing, like Tom and Zach really added their parts, and you know, went on and really did the parts writing on guitar. And then we realized that I think it was like the bridge Diego had like wasn't really working, so that was another thing that all of us wrote together. And then for the new stuff, like it was really like Tom and Zach would be the starting point. And so like those dudes just like they rip on guitar together. Like it's like two people are talking when they're playing guitar together. Like it's like I'm like, dude, I'm like, you guys are like speaking French. Like they're just on a different level. It's really incredible to experience. But yeah, they kind of like got the song started, and then usually they'll get Diego in before I'm in or around the same time, and then I like wrote vocals, and like we all kind of like come together and pre-produce it, and you know, like think about like vibe, and we're pretty methodical and intentional with everything. So like there will be like revisions or parts that change, but now it's kind of become a thing where I think like the cemented thing is like the song starters are typically Tom and Zach on guitar, and then you know, me and Diego and Emilio, our bassist now, like we all like start to fit in and heavily adjust things.
Excellent. And then you said a new song that dropped today, right? Disdain.
Yeah.
And it's solid. I love that. And is that
thanks.
Part of, yeah, no problem. And so you have a new EP coming out in October. Have I ever done anything, right?
Maybe we might change the title, which is kind of weird because we already said that that's what it's called. But you know, there's we might.
You can't do that. I like that.
Yeah. Like
shit, bro.
We already paid for, you know, like ad mats and everything, and you know, we've had multiple designers and photographers work on it. But we decided we might try to change the title. So we have a new EP coming out.
Great, and you guys are doing a release party for it in October, right?
Yeah, we are in Denver.
Yeah, very cool. So what's different about this EP from some of your other music that you've already written together, like Linger and Sludge, etc.? So what's going to be different about this one, or is there anything different?
Well, I mean, like this is the EP that like we all really wrote, you know, like prior to this EP, like we had actually recorded like 9 songs. Maybe this was like 2 years ago. And like we were just kind of like firestorm, sort of like, okay, like let's like write all these songs and record them. And that was like the style was sort of all over the place. Like we all hadn't really been playing together long enough and like artistically like bonded over the style. So like going into this record, like that was where we'd started to like kind of refine everything and figure out like what we want to sound like. And you know, it's very different. Like there's just a lot less instrumentation and like there's less of a thick vocal arrangement. You know, we were just more intentional with everything instead of, you know, in the past like trying to figure out like things that might work or might not. So and this is also the first one that we didn't self-produce. We recorded this one with Jay Moss in Haverhill, Massachusetts, like a hour north of Boston. Yeah, it's a little far away.
Awesome. A little far away. I mean, the weather might be similar for you depending on the time of year, but
yeah, no, like when we were out there, like anytime we'd meet someone, we'd be like, yeah, we're from Denver. And they'd be like, what are you doing here? Like, this is like 30 hours away from where you guys live. And we're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. We don't know how we got here. When you say less on the instrumentation and less vocals, you mean like less layering and kind of feeling like every spot needs to be filled?
I mean, like kind of like it was a really typical thing for me to add like a lot of harmonies that like didn't necessarily need to be there. And I mean, there's tons of harmonies in the new songs, but like they're more intentional, right? Like it's like instead of like adding a harmony because it's like, oh, this sounds cool, it's like, does this support the song, you know, or does this like kind of like drive home like a melody, or does it like make a lyric shine out? And like that was the same thing too with guitars. Like when we were recording everything ourselves, we would just add tons of guitars, like harmonize guitar parts like everywhere, and you know, like the kind of thing where we probably would need like 4 or 5 guitarists to play it live, which is cool. Like it's fine.
The word that I think of with bands when they record a lot of times is big. You know what I mean? Like it needs to sound bigger. It needs bigger. Eventually, if everything is just 12 guitar tracks and like 4 vocal doubles and 6 harmonies, like there's no more big. You know what I mean? And I think those are mistakes. And a lot of times, yeah, you get real ambitious at the beginning, and then you realize like sometimes less is more, and it makes the good parts just really fucking take off.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, like, it's definitely like less compositionally. Like we've put less parts in it. I mean, there's still like, maybe we have 3 guitar tracks on some of the songs, which is like, that's totally normal, dude. Like,
yeah, that's
like I'm like, some people are like, oh, like, how are you gonna do that live? And I'm like, well, I don't really think anyone cares live if like the like lower guitar is not there without like the one string. Like I'm like, it's like, I'm like, whatever. But yeah, like we were just more methodical about it. And working with Jay too, I mean, like Jay's done so many amazing records. Like he was able to help us kind of filter out like, you know, maybe this part's not necessarily like needed or doing anything, or like maybe this part like really is, like how can we direct attention at that. So yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Like everything that's there is much more impactful, instead of just being like thick.
When you mention playing live, I'm curious, you know, because we're talking about a lot of layers and third guitar parts. What's Relate's stance on tracks? Do you guys use them live? Do you avoid that? Do you find that it helps?
Well, we had some like post-production stuff like pads or synths. Maybe not synths. Like I think we had like a couple pads and like a bass drop. And we have like the in-ear rig, right? And so like we have the tracks, like Diego's taking care of having all of the tracks like on a grid and bounced out to be able to do live. And I think we did it once. And like I've always been a pretty big critic of that, like with small bands, because I'm from the DIY world, and like in the DIY world, you show up at the gig sometimes and there's like 2 Behringer powered PA speakers and like you're like, oh, we can't make this work. So like, yeah, in the past we've tried the tracks and we just found it didn't add as much to the show as we had hoped, and it just made everything like really complicated, like with the sound tech.
That too. I think people are always like copping out, but it's like, nah, bro, that sucks. Because if your drummer slips up a little bit and you're a little off the click, then like you got laser sounds coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it could go haywire really quick.
Yeah, and I mean, we play to a click. Like Diego has a click going when we play live. And like Diego's incredible, dude. Like I can't even think of one time he's like slipped off the click. And it's like and like especially for me as like an engineer or producer, like I've had the pleasure of like tracking Diego before, and it's like I'm like looking into the drum tracks and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. You're so on. But you know, like we don't really do it. We might in the future. We have backtracked bass like for tour. And so like that's awesome. Cause like that's definitely like the thing where it's like if someone can't come, it's like no big deal, dude. Like we're already on the click. We can just throw your parts through. We throw them through an amp. Like we don't like we have everything set up so that like if we were playing a pizza shop, we wouldn't need any extra production. Oh, okay. So like that's kind of the stance. Like whatever's fast and easy for us and for the sound engineer, and to like make it so we can get on stage. Like we get on stage, or I say like get on floor if we're playing like a DIY spot, and like we're on in like 5-10 minutes, we're off in 5 minutes. And that's what's really important about all that stuff to me, like is just make quick, make it snappy, and it works.
I think that's the most ethical and logical way to use those, probably.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell me, Duncan, as a producer yourself, when you worked with Jay, did you take anything away from that time to help you be a better producer? Was there anything that you gleaned from him as you worked with him that maybe you took to your own projects?
I mean, like 20,000%. Like, I was like a mediocre producer at best. And then we went and worked with Jay, and it was really affirming in a lot of like positions I had. Like, you know, like using like real guitar amps, and instead of using like plugins or like a quad cortex or whatever. And like that's what the band uses live. They're easy to use. They sound great, but there was definitely like a big thing with, you know, like recording sounds. And then like accuracy and tracking. Like, I mean, he ran us through it, man. Like if like we did a take and it wasn't good, like we had to do it again. And it was like my voice was done at the end. Like I'd never sang that much before, like, cause I had always tracked myself. So it was like, I was like, yeah, I'll do a song over this week, song over that week. And like,
not on anyone else's schedule.
I think I packed in like 7 songs into like 3 or 4 days. And at the end of it, I was just like I couldn't sing. It was funny. We still had like tour dates after that, and like I'm like, damn, this is gonna be rough, dude. It's gonna be rough. But no, like, I mean, I learned so much from Jay, and Jay mentors me and Diego like for like in our producing. So like we're always talking to him and like sending him stuff, and you know, working on assignments that he sends us to like become better producers. So like that was definitely like pivotal for me, just to work with someone that, I mean, had all these incredible techniques to make awesome records.
Very cool.
As a producer, as someone from that side, not as the guy in the band at times, what is your favorite record production-wise?
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Like production-wise,
the best sounding record, the drums, the vocals.
It's Blink-182 self-titled.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna fucking say that. Yeah,
dude, that was like the last huge record. That, oh geez, what was his name? Their producer. Yeah, Jerry Finn. Wow, I don't know how I forgot that. That was the last like huge record that Jerry Finn made, and like it was at that time where Pro Tools was becoming like a thing, and you know, record budgets were still large, but the decline was there, and like they did it all to tape. Like, I mean, it's
insane.
They actually recorded all of it
to tape too.
Yeah, and it sounds incredible.
I knew you were gonna say that because I did a little snooping. I knew that was an important record to you, and same thing. Like, I mean, like if I favorite moments production wise and anything, the vocal part at the end of Feeling This, where you have Mark and Tom doing the countering, the I Miss You is just all acoustic tracks. Got Mark playing an acoustic fucking bass. It's just the way they blend Easy Target into all of this. Just the normal Blink songs, even like a Go or something like that, sound like Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, like on Liver King level steroids. You know, it's just like fucking huge in the good way.
Well, it's crazy because like, I mean, I love Enema of the State and I love Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. But like those records sound like, you know, the same for the whole thing. Yeah, you know, it's that classic.
And they never let up.
Yeah, it's the classic, like, kind of fast pop punk instrumentation, and then it's like, oh, you get a clean song here, like a clean guitar song, you know, like, but there's not that many other elements, and the self-titled record, like, I mean, I don't understand how they use so much different instrumentation, and all the songs are so different, and, like, they all sound like they should be there. Like, it's so cohesive, the whole thing.
What's your favorite track off that record? Great pick. We recently had Tom from Townies on, and our very first conversation was an argument about that. And he was an Asthenia guy. I'm an Always guy. And I was just like, how can you say that when Always is the next track? He's like, Always is the worst track on this record. I'm like,
no. Always is the second best. Like, I mean, like, Always is like, dude, that song is just like a classic. It's a banger. That song's got me through so many breakups. But like now I'm like thinking about it, and it's like technically not the right answer, but Not Now. Not Now is like the best track from that record. Even though it wasn't on that record.
Interesting choice. I see Not Now is kind of like I see as like the stepping stone between Blink and Angels, you know? Like that's what the Blink Dad in the Adventure meets Heart Stops Beating, and you know, No It Isn't. That's what would have been the metaphor, the mythical Blink album in 2005, 2006, whenever it would have happened. Yeah.
Well, that's what people think, but like, I might be wrong. Like, I can't say this definitively, but I know I read this somewhere that like Not Now is a B-side from the self-titled, but they chose Asthenia because like they sounded too similar or something. And like, and both of those, like, I can see as the stepping stone into Angels and Airwaves, which, like, you know, I didn't know who Blink-182 was until Angels and Airwaves. Like, I think I saw them on Fuse, and then, like, someone told me, like, oh, that's the guy from Blink-182, and I'm like, what's that?
Dang.
Yeah, and then I got into Blink-182. So I was an Angels fan first, and I think that might influence some of my taste in the Blink-182 catalog.
I was gonna say, if we're going with Asthenia, that's you got the 40-second intro.
Yeah.
That's Angels.
That's the Angels coded track there.
Yep, 1000%.
So Angels later on. What's your personal Mount Rushmore? What's your four bands that maybe formed Duncan into the man he is today musically, as a performer, as a writer, as an artist, as a producer, all that shit? We can leave Blink on there. Who'd the other three be?
Transit, like a million times over. Senses Fail, and the Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Dang,
solid pick. Okay, it might be the
first
first
Foo Fighters.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, dude, the Foo Fighters are incredible, man. Like, they have like 150 songs or something. Like, it's so many. Like, and I'm not necessarily like, well, I'm not a current fan, but I think the first CD I bought with my own money was In Your Honor by the Foo Fighters, and like, dude.
2 CD? Like a double.
Yeah.
That's the double disc one, right?
Yeah.
With all the acoustic stuff.
And Best of You on one side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, and that record is so big, like, you know, like these huge drums, these big loud guitars, and like, and I feel like that was like they leaned a little bit into that style that I love so much from them, where it's like Everlong, right? You know, like the suspended chords, and like, you know, it's a little bit more somber, especially with a song like Best of You. Like, and that record was huge for me. The one after that was good too, but like after that, yeah, dude, I've never met anyone else that gets it. Yeah.
No, I listened to both those CDs, like front and back. I could not stop when it came out. You have no idea. I was a Dave Grohl
Oh no, I get it.
girl at that time. Yes.
No, yeah, well, and kind of similar thing to Blink-182. Like, you know, people told me, they're like, "Well, that's the dude from Nirvana." I'm like, "Who's Nirvana?" Like,
I bet you.
what?
That's great.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you
now
went
I know your
back and you're
age,
like,
Duncan.
shit. Yeah, I was gonna
thought,
say,
like-
yeah, God. What are you? You're 27?
No, I'm 30.
Yeah, okay,
I was
that's-
trying to
that
guess
sounds
low.
good.
I always guess too high. I was trying.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
You were watching TRL when I was watching TRL.
No,
When the Foo
TRL
Fighters
was
learned to
gone
fly
by then,
and
but yeah.
Blink-182's like so all the small things were on there. Okay, so there we go.
No, it was VH1 and Fuse for me, because like I think by the time I was like able to like even understand what like music TV was, like MTV was playing, you know, Cribs or whatever all the
It was all
time.
Jersey
Yeah,
Shore,
you were just doing
yeah.
Date My Mom and stuff like that on TV at that point.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
So back to Relate. One of the interesting things I know about you guys, I believe on this most recent tour, you guys had a little deal where people could get postcards sent from wherever you were.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Tour at the time, yeah. Which I think is just one of the coolest ways. Someone I'm really close with got one of your postcards, and it's like that makes people a fan for life. Little hand touches like that. I imagine it was just a matter of you guys were driving between dates and scroll, however many postcards you had that day, you just throw them together.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that, and like, and that definitely felt like the fully formed idea, right? Because like, it's really important to us to like connect with people, and you know, like we have people that come to our shows that, I mean, like we've known for years, or we've talked to on the internet for years, and like they've supported us so much, and like it felt like, well, it feels weird to like not acknowledge that and give those people like an opportunity to like genuinely connect with you. So like the postcards thing was kind of the extension of like, we had done a similar thing with stickers in the past, where it was like, if you go sign up for our email list, we'll send you a sticker, and like we would write on the back of the stickers like, hey, like, you know, thanks for supporting us, you know, like, you know, I hope this looks cool on your water bottle or whatever. And then like we were thinking about it, and I think it was my roommate who like, I think he like, we were talking about, you know, I'm like, oh man, how do we like tell people we're on tour? Because like we have this problem where we'll be on tour and people don't know we're on tour. Like we'll like finish a show in like San Diego, get off stage and go on like open TikTok, and there's like a comment, it's like, come to San Diego. I'm like, dude, like what? Like we're here right now, man. Like, yeah. And so like that felt like the best way to do it in like a genuine way. And I really remember being in San Luis Obispo, because I think that's where we were when we were writing like the first big batch of postcards. It was probably like 100 of them, and like we just went to a Starbucks and like sat down, and all of us were writing postcards to people, you know, and just like it's like you write a postcard to your family members. Like you're like, yeah, this is where we are, this is what we're doing today, this is where we're gonna play, you know, like, you know, the van got a flat or like something, like, you know, just telling people what's up. So like that was really cool to do, and I think that's definitely turned into like a forever thing we're gonna do, and that's like, dude, it's even cooler that like people got them, and they were free. Like we were like, the postcards are free, because like in all honesty, like when we're looking at the marketing budget, if you're using like online ad spend on like TikTok or Instagram, I was looking at the Instagram like cost per click, and it was like 90 cents or something, and I was like, well, each postcard costs like 10 cents, you know. So I'm like, this is like infinitely like better, because like we're connecting with people.
Yes. And they're gonna hold on to that postcard and frame it, put it on, you know, their, you know, shelf or whatever. So it's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. So I'm just like grateful we like had the reception with that we had. And there was like a tip option, and like that was wild too, just to see people like ordering a postcard and then like tipping us like $1 to like $5, like, and then that made it so like where it was like we had a little extra cash, and like the whole postcard thing like paid for itself. So if you're watching this or listening to this and you're in a band, dude, just try it. Just like if you go, I think it's like called like
smart.
Like next day flyers or whatever. Like, yeah, it's like $100 for like 1,000 postcards. So like, it's the kind of thing. It takes a little bit of work, but it's like genuine connective work, and people are so receptive to it.
Do they come with the shipping already already pre-stamped or whatever?
No, we had to go get the stamps, and and if you do this thing, like there are different stamps for postcards that are cheaper. Send me a message. I might have some extra ones that I'm looking to get rid of. No, we'll hold on to them because we're doing it again. But we had to get those separate. But like, with what people tipped us, like I think it paid for itself and then some. So like, that was just it was cool.
What'd you guys use for the tipping? Was it like Ko-Fi or something like that? Or?
No, we used Squarespace or Square, because like we have a Square web store, and like it's the kind of thing where like I set it up like 3 years ago or something, and people will order merch off there, but like I don't really know how to use it very well. So like I was like in the like back end for like an hour, like being like, how do I add like a tip function? And like I found some like workaround to do it where I like made like an option, which is like so like you could tip like you would order like a different color or something. So I was like, okay, cool. Made it work.
Very cool. So speaking of your live shows, I know you've done some stuff with like Keep Flying, for example. Do you have anything coming up? Are there any particular bands you want to tour with, or like who would your dream touring partners be if you had that opportunity to choose?
I mean, like, we love touring with our friends, and so like yeah, and like not to be like modest or like humble, like of course like it would be cool to tour with like The Story So Far or like Hot Mulligan or something, like yeah, for sure. But like we've loved touring with like Keep Flying, Troubled Minds, All Hype, like Savings is this band from New Mexico that like some of our best friends, Right On Kid, also from New Mexico. So like as long as it's our friends, like like that's kind of the goal. I'd really love to tour with this band called Winter Forever. They're from Boise, and that's like they're the coolest band that exists right now. So if you haven't heard of Winter Forever, like those are the dudes. Incredible band. Really? Yeah, and we've played with them a couple times. Like we met them in Utah because we were on a festival together, and we just like it's like that thing when you meet people and you're like, oh, like you're our people. Like like what's up? And like and we've just been great friends ever since. We'd love to tour with Like Roses. Again, like some friends of ours, and like we see them whenever we're in California. And every time they're in Denver, like we always get to see them. And then who else? Oh, I'd be down to tour with like Kerosene Heights. That band's really cool. I think that's how I found out about you guys. Like I saw that you had the dude from Kerosene Heights on here.
Yes.
Big fans of Kerosene Heights over here.
Yeah.
I do love them. They're great.
Yeah. So like anyone that's a good hang.
We'll get you that connect. Yeah. We'll let Chance and their team know who you make sure
That's right.
Put you guys together. Yeah.
That'd be tight. Or
it'd be a very nice show.
Or 303 in the fray. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
If we could do the 303 Fray Relate tour.
We would do fucking numbers. Huh?
All Denver, baby.
It's an all Denver tour. Like, like we play all the venues in Denver.
I know people who would be down for that tour, trust.
I'd be down. I'd be so down.
You're like, I'll send my own job.
We don't have the 303 connect. I can't connect you with the 303 gentleman, but give me a couple weeks. I'll get in touch for you.
We might be able to work something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Truly revolutionary, though. I mean, the Helen Keller line is one of the hardest bars in music history. It stood the test of time. Culture. They were uncancelable. Like there was just like we were getting rid of everyone for everything, and people were just kind of like 303 can stay. Like that's okay.
dude, and it's that
those are good dudes.
It's like that era too, like like 2000s, mid 2000s, 2010s. Like there's media from then. Like I'll go back and like watch or like listen to, and I'm just like, yo, like this is like this would not be okay to come out today. Like the show.
Punkos crunk shit, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, like not only that, but like like the TV show like How I Met Your Mother, right? Like
Yeah,
if you
100%.
if you go back and watch that, like you're kind of like, dude, this was like if this came out today, like people would not stand for it. But like you get a pass, like for being from that era. Like I'm glad that people don't take everything so seriously when it's from like the 2000s or 2010s.
Appreciate that as well. Because we
some people do take it a little hard. I spent a lot of time on the internet, and some of the people on the internet, they do. They got to go outside and remember there was different eras. Things were a little loosey goosey.
Nope. Yep. 1000% right.
Yeah. So speaking of Denver, I know you guys played. I think your second ever show was at the Vulture. Is that correct? That you ever played live?
Yeah, it was second or third. Yeah.
Second or third. And I know you guys did something recently with them because they had like a 3-year anniversary. So I guess my question is, for anyone who's in Denver or wants to go to Denver to see a show, what are some of the best venues that you would recommend?
I mean, I love the Marquee. Like,
okay,
that's in like downtown Denver, and they've got like a little pizza place. And I've been going to shows there for like my whole life. Like that is like the coolest venue. It's been around for forever. And then there's Globe Hall and Lost Lake and Larimer Lounge, and those are they're like 250 cap venues that a lot of the local bands always play at, and they get some pretty good tours going through. And a really good friend of ours is the talent buyer over there. And they've been like super supportive of our band for like the whole time we've been doing it. Same with the Marquee. Like, I mean, like, I know it's like, I think it's this dude, Jeff, he like is the talent buyer at the Marquee. And then I think he's like a co-owner of Vultures, and like both the Marquee and Vultures have like always been super supportive of us. Like, I think the first time we played Vultures, there was like 3 people there, and at the end of the show, like one of the bartenders came up to us, or maybe she was the talent buyer at the time, and she was like, thanks so much for playing, like, here's your guys' payout, like please come back, I'm sorry that no one was here, like we really like your band. And like they've always booked us and like always come through for us on like really good dates that we need. So I'd say that's almost all the venues in Colorado. If you're in the Springs, you have to check out Vultures and the Black Sheep. If you're in Denver, like the Marquee, Lost Lake, Larimer Lounge, Globe Hall, those are all A+, 10 out of 10.
Now I know what to do next time I'm in Denver for work.
I think the Marquee is the one I know. The Marquee, everyone plays through the Marquee, right? Every like mid-sized band, like trio type band. I swear, when I look at the tour itineraries, the Marquee is the one coming up a lot.
I mean, like the Marquee is like I think it's the only, I think the capacity is 450 or 500, like, and it's like the only club in Denver like that. Like everything else is either lower or like significantly higher.
Yeah, it's either DIY or Red Rocks kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't have that many DIY venues. Like we have a couple, but it's not like a lot of other cities where there's a lot of like DIY culture.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What do you consider like? Because when I listen to Relate, I hear you guys as this like perfect baby of like growing up in this area. You talk about like late 2000s onward, where I hear like some of the elements of like A Day to Remember mixed with a Mayday Parade, mixed with Story So Far or a Neck Deep, with like a little bit of the heavier elements from that time as well. Maybe like post-hardcore bands, like kind of like an amalgamate, like a 2020s amalgamation of 2010s Warped Tour. Would you say that's fair? How do you describe your sound to people who are in the know? I mean, obviously, if you're talking to someone in an elevator who isn't from our scene, you're probably just going to say rock band. But how do you personally?
I mean, like, maybe this isn't the best way to say it, but like when I meet people and like the band like comes up, they're like, oh, like you're in a band, and I'm like, yeah, like, oh, like what kind of style? And I think I always say something to the effect of like, It's that like whiny ass pop punk shit that like teenagers write in their garage, and like, which like I've been saying that for like years, and like I feel like people used to be like, oh, and like now I get like a lot of like, dude, that's so sick. That's what I listened to growing up. Like, and
Right? Yeah.
yeah,
It's way back around.
yeah.
Thankfully.
But I mean, like you hit the nail on the head there. Like we used to call it well, by we I mean like when we put out the band and the dudes were really cool about like me saying whatever I wanted on the internet. Like I just like called it Warped Tour Core, and like I thought that was the most accurate description of it. Now we call it post pop punk, and that's like it's just like a pop punk band or emo band or like whatever. Like I try not to get too into the genre thing, and I started calling it like post pop punk, like kind of as like a joke, because like it's the kind of thing where people will see that on the internet and they'll comment and be like, oh man, that's not a genre, or like, man, why we got to be splitting hairs about genres, or like it's just kind of like it's kind of like that,
bro.
yeah, but it's kind of like that thing where I thought it was kind of funny, and then we leaned a little too hard into it, like on like TikTok and like Instagram, to where like it kind of like grew legs and became a thing. Like I met a dude at a show in San Antonio. He came out to see us, and he like I'd known him like from the internet because he kept like tagging us in like post pop punk kind of like accounts on Instagram. And so like I started talking to him. I'm like, dude, what's up with the post pop punk thing? I'm like, I thought this was a joke. He's like, it's not a joke. Like, this is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's 2010s core. Kind of. It leans in so many different directions. We've kind of stepped out of more of like the post hardcore stuff, and like I think now we're more focused on just like making music that is really like important to us, and that like we're all like making, right? Like like using guitars for most of the sounds, using drums, and not leaning too hard on some of the dated production techniques, like like bass drops and like everything. Like there's a different way to do like what that does to a song, and so we just kind of like lean into that,
Weeding out like the less timeless parts of that era's music, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I remember when we had finished tracking the EP and we were talking to Jay, he's kind of like, well, what do you want it to sound like? And and he's like, I bet you guys like want it to sound like the story so far. And I'm like, no, not really. And I said like I want it to sound like, In Your Honor, like Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American, like Blink-182. And he just like he's like a light bulb goes off and he's like, oh, you just want it to sound timeless. And I'm like, yeah. And then like it was really cool because like I love the way that the new music sounds, and the old music, but like it's timeless in this way that like I feel like in 10 years you'll be able to listen to it and it will stand up next to like any other rock record, and you won't necessarily be able to tell that it's from like 2025. And then that's the feedback too we've gotten like from some people in the industry and like online, is that like the record sounds word for word timeless. And
yes,
that's definitely like the goal.
Sure. That's a good goal to have too, because then your music will resonate with many generations instead of just a certain nostalgic vocal point. That will eventually come back around. But
that's the thing too. I think in like the subgenre, subculture of like this type of alternative rock music, over the last like 20, 15, maybe 10, 15 years or so, things have become very nostalgia based. Like I'll see it on TikTok where it's a lot of bands like, oh, finally you found a band that sounds just like New Found Glory and Blink-182 and Simple Plan, or we're at 2010. It's very much this. It becomes dated, and I think it takes away from like when we were kids, we didn't necessarily want to have our parents' music. We wanted to have our own music. You know what I mean? So it pigeonholes you a lot, and I think you guys do a really good job. Like when I hear Relate, I hear exactly what you're saying. Like, this is what Warped Tour sounds like now.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
should.
kind of like that. Well, it's like, and I've like leaned into that on accident on TikTok, like the whole like, you found a band that like, you know, sounds like I come by it very honestly, where like
Yeah.
I saw like a friend of mine do like the like, oh, you found a band raised on like Green Day and Paramore and like, you know, but they're still really small, and like we live in the content era, dude. Like anything we can pump out, man, anything, like it can be huge for you. And so like I've tried to like become more accepting of doing things that like I think are kind of cringe, right? But like
I feel you. Yeah, the story battle of my entire life of like, this is what you need to do, but I'll be embarrassed to nobody but myself, you know? Like,
yeah, like I mean, like I say it all the time where I'm just like, dude, it's like you have to make these videos, like it, and it's such a double-edged sword, because it's like you can, like, we literally live in a time where if you want to be a musician, you want to be in a band, like whatever, if you make these silly little videos and put them on the internet, like they can change the game for you. Like, you know, like I've leaned into like I think I made like a TikTok that was like, POV just found a band that sounds like Transit in the story so far. And like, I just said that because that's the bands I listened to growing up, right? Yeah. And like, it was kind of wild though, because that one like caught the algorithm on Instagram and on TikTok, and like seeing all these comments where like people were nostalgic for the music that like I grew up with, you know, like where it was directly like those were the bands that I was going to see as a teenager and like felt like my generation's bands. You know, it definitely made me feel a little bit like weird, like maybe like a little like, you know, mature and aged a bit, where I was just like, oh wow, so like it's not just like Green Day and Paramore that are like the vintage bands. Like I'm like, it's the bands I grew up with too. I'm like, okay, right, cool, yeah. Word.
It's coming around. It's like, yeah, when we start getting nostalgic for like a Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens, and like, I'm like, fuck, I'm getting so old.
Yeah. We're already there, Rob.
I know, middle-aged. I've accepted it. You mentioned like content, but you guys are also, you know, obviously tour hard and have a real DIY ethic to it as well. A lot of times I've noticed is it seems to be one or the other with a lot of bands. We talk to a lot of bands who are tour their ass off. They have a great network of fans, but they're not very good at the social media game, admittedly. And then we've talked to a lot of bands that are great at the social media game, but then they literally, you know, they're not doing tours and the like. They're doing a few shows a year maybe because, you know, it's not a full band. They got to hire a drummer and the like. You guys are one of the few that kind of seems to do both well. What would you say, which of the two would you say maybe gets you guys more traction, more fans? Is one proven to be more useful than the other?
Yeah, I mean, social media, like,
for sure, really.
Yeah.
And it's like not even a contest, you know. Like,
okay.
I'd say like in terms of like gaining new fans, touring has been an absolute failure.
Hey man, it's your boy Petty Hendrix, man. You tuned in to Emo Kid Anonymous. Check it out, you did.